What is up, everyone? Thanks for joining me today. My name is CollegeSportsREVIVED, and welcome back to the College Hoops 2K Legacy Mode series featuring the Fordham Rams and our main man, Coach Carter. Last episode had its fair share of highs and lows, including Preston Murphy's promotion to the starting five, and perhaps that was the move that correlated to our Rams winning 3 of 4 at one point, and it would have been 4 games in a row as wins if Marshall didn't beat us by a single point, 66-65. However, Coach Carter was met with some rotten luck in recruiting, hitting on only 1 of 10 targets. And then we finished the previous installment with a forgettable 3-game losing streak and a blowout loss to Carter's former team, UT Martin, after a forgettable second half. Today we get our first taste of Atlantic 10 Conference play, hosting St. Bonaventure. And then behind the Bonnies, we also meet up with Temple, who's full of shooting, St. Louis, fresh off a Final Four appearance last year, George Washington, Dayton, and then finally Richmond and Charlotte, who are both receiving votes for the top 25 at this point in the season. So it's a really tough slate for our first handshake with our A-10 teams, especially while we're trying to snap a 3-game skid, as the schedule does us no favors. But the Bonnies, they may not be as powerful of a team as they are in real life, but they can still hoop, trust me on that. And with all the defensive firepower they have, I wouldn't be surprised to see them amongst the top of the conference in defensive team stats by season's end, with 6'10 senior Albert McKenzie being at the helm of this squad. McKenzie's a projected second-round pick in the upcoming NBA draft, as you see down below the Pro Buzz section, and he'll be competing for the scoring, rebound, and block titles all season long. And surrounding the potential A-10 Player of the Year, St. Bonaventure has Desmond Henning, one of the higher flyers in the league, Kyle Kingman, one of the best passers and mid-range scorers in the league, and Robert Silla, one of the best shooters in the league. So even though the Bonnies won't break the scoreboard on offense per se, they can still hit you with any different amount of flavors on that side of the floor, making them just as tough to prepare for as anyone else across the Atlantic 10. So it's no secret that we have our work cut out for us with this really tough schedule. And in bigger news, we gotta try to snap this 3-game skid dating back to last episode, and obviously the schedule isn't doing us too many favors in that endeavor, but all we can do is just play and stay together. Here we go with Cade Sorensen getting us underway. Mid-range shot no good as Kyle Kingman out on the break for the Bonnies, bounce pass to Robert Silla in the face of 2 Fordham Rams, and he still gets it to go. Already you're seeing some of the shooting by Silla out on display, and the playmaking from Kingman as that he tries to set up Javaris Grimes in the next possession, the starting power forward for the Bonnies. This one's off the mark as look at Preston Murphy sizing up his man, little handoff to Evangelo Higgins, the hero from 2 episodes ago, to get us our first win with a buzzer-beating shot. And ever since Preston Murphy has been moved to the starting 5, those two have been playing off each other so well. It's been an absolute treat to watch. And even though our offense is actually trending upwards here at the beginning of this episode, we are not playing much defense against the Bonnies. Here comes Amir Holiday, though, from 3. Amir Holiday cheering us up here on this holiday season with the tray ball. He's been actually a really undervalued piece on this team. 4 points and 9 minutes a game for the former D2 player, as this one swings over to Alondo Brown on the perimeter. Brown is one of the better freshman guards across the entire Atlantic 10, and he gets the Bonnies lead up to 10 here in the first half, already 25 points surrendered by Fordham. And Stan Scott now checks in. Remember him last episode? Yeah, he's a 6'5 junior wing who was complaining about not getting enough playing time, as you see here. Fabian Swanson also checks in, puts in 2 more points to cut the lead down to under 10. But yeah, Stuart Scott, a lot of complaining last episode. He was unhappy that he wasn't getting playing time. So looks like Coach Carter's finally giving him his wish as he almost gets the steal here. Here comes Desmond Henning! Oh my goodness, already a tough game up to this point for the Fordham defense, and Stanton Scott trying to carve out a role with this opportunity he's been given. Yeah, he left AJ Ali out to dry on defense, and that's not going to win you over many points with Coach Carter, as you can see here firsthand. So already 34 points given up with 4 minutes to go here in the first half. This one will swing over to Preston Murphy for 3, trying to get it back to 10, and Murphy knocks it through. And this would kind of spark, a little bit of a Fordham run. I feel like I'm becoming a bit of a broken record right now with all of the bad runs and then good runs Fordham will have. They're just not a very consistent team. That's an understatement as this pass goes inside. Nice pass by the backup point guard Stephon Bowman inside Albert McKenzie. The Bonnies continue to live above the rim here in the first half, but we still dwindle the lead down to 4 with 14 seconds to go, trying to hold for one more defensive stop and not let the Bonnies get to 40 points here in the first half of action. This one is Bowman, and he is rejected by Preston Murphy. But the ball will stay on this end with 5 seconds to shoot. Here comes Vance Burton kicking it back out to Maroney, and then Murphy rejects another Bonnie to take us into the half. What can't Preston Murphy do? I said that a couple times last episode, and he makes me say it again. So our first possession here in the second half, it's very surprising Fordham's still in this game with how bad that defense was in the first half. Man, that was a hard side of the floor to watch, but 3 seconds to shoot. It's a flare screen for Murphy, and he rips it clean to give him 16 on the night. Whether it's in the fast break opportunities he's had or with only a couple seconds left to spare, Murphy has been awesome on the offensive side of the floor, making half his shots on the year so far and even 50% from the field as Robert Silla hands it off to Desmond Henning from 17 feet out. And once again, the Bonnies now on a 12-0 run, 53-41 with the snap of a finger. It just feels like over and over again, Fordham has found themselves in this situation where they just can't score. Either that or their defense goes MIA, but this pass will rotate over to the elbow. Here's Preston Murphy, and I gotta give Murphy credit. It's a 14-point game in favor of the Bonnies, but it really felt like in the second half, Murphy was the only kid who wanted to be out there. He had an awesome night, finishing with 25 points, and the lead up now near 25 for St. Bonaventure. It's 24. As these last couple possessions are nothing more than just a formality. Stevie Bowman trying to set up a teammate, and I don't know what happened to our entire bunch of the 5 trying to get back in transition. No excuse. I mean, I know that's our second unit right there, but that's one of the worst defensive sequences I've personally ever seen. And yeah, St. Bonaventure scoring 50 on us here in the second half, outscoring us by 23. It's almost like we recreated the Tennessee Martin game from last episode with Preston Murphy dropping 25 points. Like I said, he was really the only one that looked like they wanted to be out there in the second half of action. I don't know what happened. Hard to point fingers when everything went wrong in the second half. AJ Ali had a pretty serviceable outing as well, and Stan Scott with his first real tangible playing time, he made a couple baskets. But St. Bonaventure with 6 players in double figures, Kyle Kingman with 12 assists, and he was orchestrating it all for Desmond Henning with 21. He was taking Evangelo Higgins' lunch money tonight. Higgins only had 4 after a pretty solid episode last time out. So we're going to move along here in the schedule with Temple being our next opponent as we travel to Philadelphia to face off against the marksman-filled Temple Owls. These kids can shoot from 3, and yeah, some of these team stats are really impressive. Around 40% as an entire squad from behind the line. They also like to turn teams over. They average around 9 steals a game, and we're about to meet some of these Owls right here. This is a top 4 scoring offense in the league with Denard Springer leading the way for the Owls. For the second game of the row, we are facing one of the best big men that the A-10 has to offer. Springer, a 6'10 center from Queens. This kid can do it all. He's up near 20 points per game as well. 2.5 blocks on the year. And I'm more concerned for Donovan Gadsden, a 6'1 junior. He is one of the best 3-point shooters in the entire A-10. And not only that, but he's also taken the most 3-pointers on the year. He still shoots above 40%. So not only does Gadsden have the volume, but he also has the efficiency as well. And with how bad we've been defending players behind the line this year, yeah, I'm afraid for Gadsden. So Evangelo Higgins and the rest of our guards, Vashawn Pollard, they're going to have to be on their A game tonight because there's not many teams that can hang with Temple when they get going from behind the line. So welcome to Philadelphia, everybody. A very historic basketball program here in Philly. So here we are in Temple as Kate Sorensen wins the tip-off for Fordham. AJ Ali would score on the first possession. It was a mid-range jump shot, but that'd kind of be our one shining moment here in the first half. Preston Murphy gets the deflection, but can't close out on Donovan Gadsden or grab the steal. I do not want to be saying his name a lot tonight, but looks like that might be the case with Temple jumping out to a 13-2 run in the first 4.5 minutes. Yes, you're reading that scoreboard correctly. Preston Murphy behind the line, not even close, as Kennedy Veasley turns on the Jets and will dunk it down on top of Vashawn Pollard. Oh my goodness. 15-2 Temple. Not many times you'll see a team start out as bad as we have. We're shooting 1 for 11 to begin this game. Nick Nystrom and Stan Scott check in for the Fordham Rams along with Fabian Swanson, trying to mix up our rotations a little bit. And the pick and pop to Stan Scott will be knocked through. Stan Scott, he's hungry for a spot in this rotation after complaining to Coach Carter last episode. And he's had some positive plays here and there. I mean, hey, Stan Scott could be a very useful player in this rotation as we grab a steal finally. Nick Nystrom down the lane as A.J. Ollie orchestrated that fast break to perfection. And I mean, hey, it's a small victory, but we have the lead under 10 with 6.5 left to play here in the first half of action. So now Amir Holiday checks in as Cade Sorensen makes his re-entry into the ball game, and he cannot close out on Cordell Johnson for 3. Another Temple Owl who shoots above 38% from behind the line. I calculated they have 4 players who at least have that mark from long range. Fabian Swanson now attacks the interior, and he makes a little jump hook over Chance Phelps. There's his first basket as Swanson continues to be a very valuable asset off the bench for Fordham. He's been a bright spot for sure. Now up by 10 is Temple, Cordell Johnson as this one circumnavigates to Donovan Gadsden, and then Chance Phelps will get the one up on Swanson on the next possession. There's Springer's third assist. He's been wheeling and dealing from the high post, and it's back up to a 10-point game. Are we going to roll over, or are we going to make things competitive as Fabian Swanson then tries a 3? He's actually hit a couple on the year. Kennedy Veasley with the rebound as Donovan Gadsden's getting pressured in the backcourt, getting harassed by Vashawn Pollard, and he forces a turnover down the lane with a rainbow layup is Pollard. Nicely done, Preston Murphy. He read that play like a book. And we finally force a turnover. So now up by 12 is Temple, but at least we're starting to compete a little bit. 2:45 left to go, and now here's a steal for Fordham as they finally put on the full court press. We've seen that in limited action. We haven't seen it all the time as we almost force another turnover there, but Coach Carter likes to throw it in for some different looks. On the defensive side of the floor, and now a half-court turnover. Evangelo Higgins up the way. Here comes Preston Murphy, who rips it clean from the adjacent corner. Finally, Murphy gets on the board. He's had 4 looks from 3, and that's the first one he knocked down. So, I mean, hey, you can't complain after starting out on a 15-2 run. Temple kind of surrenders the lead a little bit. Some of the power going back to Fordham as we only trail by 7 after a very nice run there to segue us into the locker room. It was awesome to see Fordham respond to that 15-2 deficit with a 22-16 run of their own. And it was all manufactured by those 4 really clutch steals we had near the end of the first half of action as we jump into the second half. So put a fresh 15 minutes on the clock. Deron Coleman orchestrating things here for Temple as he hands it off to Donovan Gadsden, who puts on the Jets to beat Amir Holiday off the dribble as the D2 baller getting some minutes here in the first couple of minutes here in the second half as this one tries to be a bounce pass inside. Deron Coleman turns it over, and the lob pass is executed perfectly. Preston Murphy, great job filling the lane, and Vashawn Pollard finds him once again. So now it's down to 6 with 9:45 left to go as the starters check in, with the exception of Stan Scott. He's getting some extended time here with Evangelo Higgins watching from the sideline. Nice job, nice ball rotation, and this ball's barely even touching the hardwood floor as Cade Sorensen finds Stan Scott for 3. Yes, 8 points for Scott off the bench, and he's still perfect from the field. 41-36, we're slowly yet surely chipping away. We're approaching 8 minutes on the game clock. Stan Scott to A.J. Ollie on the baseline. Cross-court pass. Preston Murphy to get us within 2. There goes another tray ball for Fordham. It's no secret that we're one of the worst three-point shooting teams in the A-10 on paper, and Temple's another team that's played a lot of zone against us due to that fact, but we're going to see a lot of zone until we can prove we can start to finally make some outside shots, and this game's been no exception, but we're finally starting to hit our looks from downtown as A.J. Ollie baits Adrian Duffy into the bad outlet pass and then feeds Sorensen for his first basket. Sorensen finally gets on the stat sheet, but it is the game-tying bucket. I cannot believe Fordham has fought all the way back to give themselves a chance. 41 up, 6.5 left to play, as some reserves check in, including Nick Nystrom, our backup point guard, Amir Holiday in for more minutes, and Fabian Swanson will be the power forward, with Cade Sorensen checking back in, making a nice feed outside to Nick Nystrom, who gets the roll. We're back out in front for the first time this game. 6 minutes to play, and Fordham has the lead for the first time since it was 2-0. Denard Springer, he's been a little quiet, finding his own shot, as this one is, I guess, deflected, but somehow as the dust settles, a Temple big man retakes the rock and finds Braylon Ellison, an underclassman, from behind the line. The bad luck continues for Fordham. They had a steal there, but there was just so much congestion down low they couldn't get their hands on the rock. So very next possession, it's another tough situation with 7 seconds left to shoot on this possession after a ball is tipped out of bounds. Fordham down by 2, needs to work quickly here. It's Preston Murphy who V-cuts to the ball. Let's see, 5 seconds left to shoot. This one's going to be a pass over to Fabian Swanson. 2 seconds left. Fabian Swanson ties the game. But no, he didn't get it off in time. It's a shot clock violation. He ran right past Chance Phelps, and he deserved those 2 points, but it's another bad stroke of luck for the Rams in this early season contest. We've seen this time and time again, Vashawn Pollard in disbelief here. We just cannot seem to catch a break during this losing streak, and it continues. So now we're under 3 to play. We're down by 2. Deron Coleman, once again, setting up the offense, directing traffic, gives it off to Donovan Gadsden, not the guy you want to see with a free lane. A beautiful double clutch layup to give Donovan Gadsden 12 points on the night. He's 1 point away from reaching his season average. He puts up 13 points a night, 43% from 3, as this one's inside to AJ Ollie, who's knocked to the floor, and no whistle is called. Gadsden picks it up, and Fordham is going to have to play 4-on-5 until AJ Ollie gets back. It'll be Springer feeding Phelps on the baseline, but luckily we get to stop playing some 4-on-5 defense. Give them one credit. Fordham, I know it's been 4 tough losses in a row, but these kids are fighters. 1:45 left to play. Murphy enters the lane. The AJ Ollie bounce pass. Evangelo Higgins for his first field goal on the contest thus far. Let's go, Higgins, with a couple of bad games back to back. He's been completely blanked thus far by Kennedy Veasley, the 6'8" small forward for the Owls, but he finally records a field goal. And as we take this game to about 60 seconds left to play, we're down by 3. It's a baseline screen. Higgins is cut off by Veasley. 9 seconds to go. Murphy to Swanson to Pollard. 5 seconds. It's going to be a pick and roll as Vashawn Pollard is hacked by Chance Phelps with a single second left to spare. Wow, what a game we're seeing in this one. Our first road game of A-10 play within the series, and Vashawn Pollard tries to step up and knock down 2 for 2. We haven't been a very good team from the charity stripe all season long, but Vashawn Pollard is 25 of 28 on the year. Make that 27 of 30. 90% on the line from our senior 6'6" point guard, and he dwindles the lead back down to 1. Here we go with Springer to Coleman, outside to Kennedy Veasley for 3. Coleman's 7th dime, and Veasley gets into double figures. Again, Evangelo Higgins gets burned from 3. He really needs to improve his off-ball defense, and this one's given away. It's Deron Coleman, but Vashawn Pollard takes it right back. AJ Ollie to Pollard, setting up the long outlet pass to Fabian Swanson. And the 3-point play is coming your way. Oh my goodness, what a sequence of events. Fabian Swanson getting some minutes in favor of Cade Sorensen, as Swanson, the former junior college transfer, has been awesome today, and he comes through as Vashawn Pollard set that whole thing up, hustling back, getting the steal, and taking a chance with that long outlet pass. Swanson trying to break 9 points with his free throw, and he will swish it through. Back down to a 1-point game, 23 seconds left, no shot clock, as Fordham will begin to foul. And we want to send Donovan Gadsden to the line. I know he's an awesome outside shooter, but only 67% for his career from the charity stripes. So we'll see if he can come through. There's 8.5 seconds left as Gadsden toes the line. The front end of the 1-and-1 is good. Gadsden, a hometown kid From Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, the 6'1 junior has a chance to put Temple up by 3 with only a couple seconds left to spare. The second one is also swished through. So here we go with Sean Pollard, who will signal to the ref he wants a timeout. And now with 7.5 left to go, Preston Murphy flashes strong side corner. It's 5 seconds left. He's getting trapped. He'll hand it off to Higgins for the tie. It's short. And Fordham comes up short. 57-54 is your final. In an incredible second half game we just saw. Oh man, now 5 straight losses for Fordham. It was an awesome comeback effort, but at the end of the day, you gotta admit, if we didn't start out the game down 15-2, the ending of this game probably would have been a lot different. And we actually had nobody in double figures, but Fabian Swanson led us in scoring with that amazing 3-point play at the end of the game to keep us alive. We also saw 8 from Preston Murphy. Higgins finally knocked down a shot near the end of the game, and AJ Ollie had 4 steals, and that will tie a career high for him. Leading Temple was Donovan Gatson with 14 points. Beasley and Springer both had 10 apiece. And we're going to try to finally snap this winning streak. Well, it wouldn't come in simulating. That St. Louis game I showed you guys at the beginning of the episode, yeah, that was kind of a blowout loss for us as we fall to now 0-3 in the conference. And we currently ride a 6-game skid, 3 out of conference, 3 in conference, as we travel to DC for a tango with the George Washington Colonials. And this is one of the weaker teams projected in the conference this season, starting out 1-2. And I mean, hey, they took a really bad loss to St. Bonaventure too as well this season. They're coming off that bad loss, so they kind of replicated our performance against the Bonnies with a blowout loss themselves. But as we look at the roster, not a lot of scoring on this George Washington team. They're led by DeMarcus Samuels, a 6'6 forward who does a little bit of everything on the offensive end, but he's not at the same level as Springer or I guess Albert McKenzie, so that's good. We don't have to worry about that. On top of that, George Washington also comes in this game very underhanded. Injured is Ramar Morgan, a 6'7 forward who leads the team in minutes played per game, and Ovaris Smith, a 69 overall freshman guard. He's going to be inactive for this game as well, and they also have their 10th man in the rotation also missing time. So that's 1 starter and 2 pretty key rotational pieces for the Colonials who will be inactive for tonight's game. This has to be the game where we break our skid. Let's get things started here with Sean Pollard and the rest of these Fordham Rams trying to put that heartbreaking loss to Temple behind us. So Pollard swings it to Cade Sorensen. It's another team that plays a lot of zone, trying to work on our outside shot consistency. That's a good way to start. Evangelo Higgins in rhythm, trying to put in the rearview mirror his 1-for-6 shooting game against Temple. Well, then on this possession, Higgins will give it away, but look at Rashawn Pollard. He's turning on the Jets, and he is swatting Jahad Best's layup opportunity in transition. Oh my goodness, that wasn't a layup attempt. He was trying to dunk that thing down, but Pollard gets the best of Jahad Best. So now we're trying to continue. We're pushing forward here in the first half of action as DeMarcus Samuels' layup is off the mark. He's their top scorer on the season so far. He's going to see even more minutes with no Ramar Morgan in the lineup, but this one's now taken away by Levance Lowry. Jahad Best will try it again. He makes a much better decision. Little drop-off pass to Wheeler. That's Baron Wheeler, who averages 4 points per game, and he's second in 3-pointers made on this Colonials team. And yeah, you're just not going to play very winning basketball if you turn it over as much as Fordham has in these first couple possessions. It's already their 4th team turnover as Preston Murphy directs traffic into the high post. AJ Ollie bounce pass to the fading Stan Scott with a foot on the line. Scott's not seeing advanced playing time just because he complained to Coach Carter. He's someone that Carter wants to stick around for his senior year. There's some rumblings that he might transfer next episode, or next season rather, but he's starting to see more minutes than Hassan Rivera there at the backup 3 position. So now down by 2, here it comes, Fabian Swanson. It rims out, but he then follows his own miss to put it in. Nice press break there. Fabian Swanson, when we first got to this team, I thought Swanson was going to be a pretty mid-range jump shot shooter. I didn't think he was all that well equipped to be banging down low, but he's been doing plenty of that here in the early goings of the season. But right as I say that, there's a 15-footer from Swanson, so he's just as blue collar as anybody on this Fordham team. He just so happens to have a nice mid-range jump shot to go along with it. So this one will swing over to Casey Zeski, who will then join the starting five with the injured Ramar Morgan on the injured list, and that'll extend the Colonials' lead to 7 with 5.5 left to go here in the ball game. Evangelo Higgins then trapped on the baseline, 9 seconds to shoot on this possession, as the Colonials switch to man, and that leaves the opportunity for Preston Murphy to fit a backdoor pass inside for Cade Sorensen. That's his second basket. Beautiful assist there by Murphy as Sorensen fought for the position, and then Murphy blocks Zeski on the next possession. Up ahead to Amir Holiday, who will then look for some assistance. Ali outside to Murphy, trying to get it done on both ends. It's off, but then Swanson's there for another cleanup opportunity. Again, this one's blocked, but Amir Holiday is there, and we have a third chance at it. Murphy with a second look on that possession. You already know that if Murphy gets 2 looks at it, he's not going to miss the second one. So we'll head into the second half of action where we see, of course, say it with me if you know what I'm about to say, another huge run by our opponent. Here comes George Washington now, increasing the lead to 12 as this one's blocked by Higgins. Finally playing some defense up ahead to Preston Murphy. He puts his foot in the floor, and with a double clutch finish, he will get the lead back down to 10. I'm so sick and tired of Fordham just going through these long spurts of just no offense or just bad defense. Well, finally Murphy comes through. Somebody comes through, I should say. It's now down to an 8-point game as the starters re-enter the hardwood floors. AJ Ali tries it from 3. The only starter not out there is Evangelo Higgins, who struggled again today. Vashawn Pollard with the block, but then he surrenders. A 3-point play. Jihad Best, he got his dunk attempt block in the first half by Pollard, but he was not going to take no for an answer this time around. So now 42-35, Levance Lowry resets it to Baron Wheeler, who's off the mark. Long outlet pass to Stan Scott, who makes a great decision, and then back inside to Scott after Higgins checks in. And on his first possession, subbing in for Preston Murphy, he will deliver a highlight reel dime to Stan Scott to make the lead dwindle back down to 5 with 8:20 left to go in this contest. Nick Nystrom will then check in favor of Vashawn Pollard. This one swings over to Stan Scott on the next possession. It's 3 more points for Scott. He's up to 7 on the game and another productive outing. He's starting to win over Coach Carter. Like I said in the first half, he's not getting playing time because he complained. He's getting it because he's earning it. And then he sets up Evangelo Higgins with an off-ball screen. That is, I should say, if anybody was even covering Higgins, AJ Ali demanded 4 Colonials inside, and Higgins was wide open to stroke it from behind the line. Finally, Higgins wants to turn around his poor fortune from his jump shooting performances so far in these last couple games. So here comes Baron Wheeler. He will kick it out to Rhett Klein, who's actually had a really bad game. He starts at the small forward role for the Colonials, but finally he puts one in. This 4 points, but 2 for 11 shooting for Rhett Klein, as this one will be advanced to AJ Ali inside to Cade Sorensen, and eventually we would reset it. Levance Lowry, good job getting back. So back in the half court, Fordham goes. 13 seconds left to shoot. Vashawn Pollard beats his man off the dribble. Great find inside to Sorensen, but he blows the layup. Those are 2 points we desperately need at this point in the ball game. So now 2:22 left to play. George Washington with a 3-point advantage as Preston Murphy and the rest of the starting 5 check in, and off the pick and roll, it's Levance Lowry who will get it done. The further we get along in this ball game, the more you're starting to see the Colonials feed Samuels and Lowry down low. Levance Lowry actually leads this team in both blocks and assists. He's a very unique talent who now has near 10 points on the game. AJ Ali on the next possession. It's a decent look, but both Lowry and Samuels closed out on him. Jihad Best, beautiful dish inside to Arzell Patterson, the 5'11 junior point guard, who leads the Colonials in points to this point in the game. He's the only Colonial with double-figure scoring totals. It's now a 7-point advantage for George Washington. Things once again looking bleak for Fordham as they try to play the role of the comeback kids. It's Preston Murphy with a hand in the face, and he still comes through. Murphy with 11. In the beginning of the season, Higgins was our go-to player down the stretch. I think Murphy has officially taken the crown. And we're still kicking with a minute to go. Rhett Klein, he will then turn it over as he's pressured by 2 Rams. Up ahead to Vashawn Pollard, who's looking for some assistance inside to Sorensen. No good, but AJ Ali on the follow will give us another chance. It's Pollard once again drawing some more clutch free throws at the end of a game. What can't AJ Ali do? I mean, he's just been lighting up the score sheet in every single tally, every single category. He's been doing really well so far. And Vashawn Pollard, our best free throw shooter, will knock down 2 for 2. So a couple key stops and a couple key baskets leaves Fordham with the door cracked. It's now a 3-point Colonial advantage with 35 seconds left to go. It's a 10-second difference between the shot clock and the game clock. But Klein wants to finish off Fordham, but his struggles continue as Murphy grabs the biggest rebound on the game to this point. 23 seconds left. Once again, it's a 1-possession ball game. Similar situation to the Temple game, but this time, Higgins comes through. Oh my goodness, Fordham is once again making it tough for their opponents to finally finish them off. 6 seconds left, Colonial's last chance today to finish this game in regulation. It's Samuels to Jihad Best for the win. It's a decent look, but it will fall short. And we will be playing our second overtime game of the season, 62 apiece. Our only substitution heading into the overtime period will be AJ Ali coming out for Fabian Swanson, as Kate Sorensen wins the tip for the second time today, as AJ Ali was just gassed with all the hard work he was doing underneath. So Vashawn Pollard with a step behind the back dish to Higgins, who was spotting up in that corner that he just was a hero in a couple moments ago. You can tell he wants to pull the trigger, but first he'll feed it inside to Sorensen. He'll fade to the corner. Higgins for 3. Second 3 in a row coming from the right corner. I think he heard me say that Preston Murphy is now our go-to guy at the end of a game. No, Higgins still wants that distinction, and he's fighting for it. But the Colonials knocked down a bucket. It was DeMarcus Samuels, so now 10 seconds to shoot on this possession. Vashawn Pollard, great dish inside once again, but Levance Lowry seals it off with a rejection. So Arzell Patterson, the Colonials' top scorer to this point in the contest, will set it up. And it's going to be a screen from Levance Lowry as this one's floated inside to Rhett Klein, who will draw the foul, knock down the layup, and will have a chance for one more at the line as he takes the lead. 3 for 13 tonight is Rhett Klein, but he comes through. And Fabian Swanson is getting ready to check out as Klein cannot knock down the free throw. But hey, George Washington on the next possession, they'll go back inside to DeMarcus Samuels for 2 more to make it a 3-point Colonial advantage with 2:22 on the game clock. So once again, another good press break. We haven't seen many turnovers from Fordham since the first half. AJ Ali met with a double, pass out to Higgins, and we're trying to break down this defense. They're out of position. It's Murphy, tough shot, but Ali rips it down off the window and puts in 2 more second chance points. AJ Ali coming up huge underneath. We force a stop, and then now we have the rock once again. So under a minute to play, with Evangelo Higgins wanting to take the ISO on Levance Lowry, gets a step, but help side comes. So now it's going to be a tough window of opportunity here. It's 4 seconds left. AJ Ali in the post. 2 seconds left. He somehow gets it off in time over Rhett Klein. And it's 2 more for Ali. 14 on the night for the senior. Oh my goodness. 69-68 Fordham in the driver's seat. Arzell Patterson with the Colonials' potentially last chance today for him. It's a 3-second difference between the 2 clocks. Arzell Patterson scans, gives it to Klein. It's Patterson once again. Only 12 seconds left to shoot. 13 on the game clock. It's Klein from 3. He misses, but a whistle is blown. And it's Evangelo Higgins fouling Klein on the 3-point attempt. What's the golden rule in basketball, everybody? Tell me, because I've said it a lot in my videos over the years. You never foul a jump shooter. But Higgins, man, he's just been so inconsistent playing off-ball defense. He keeps getting burned. He's had a great defensive game tonight, but Rhett Klein puts his horrible, forgettable shooting night behind him and has a chance to knock down all 3 with this one coming right here to make it a 2-point game, and all 3 would sink through after the friendly shooter's bounce. Timeout, Coach Carter. Can we finally snap the 6-game skid It all comes down to this with 11 seconds left to play. Check that, 12 seconds left to play, as Fordham needs to go all 94 feet. Will they go for the tie or for the win? It's Vashon Pollard with a head full of steam. And it's a handoff to Higgins, up and under move, and it's off. It's Levance Lowry who toes in and forces the miss. And with the Colonials and the double bonus, Jihad Best will be guaranteed 2 shots with 5.2 on the game clock. The first one is a miss from Jihad Best, so he can't make it 2 possessions. So Fordham will still have 1 more chance. Best with the second, and this one will be sunk through, and Coach Carter burns his final timeout. There's 5.2 left, so even less time to go the distance. Sorensen will be the inbounder. Preston Murphy, he's perched at the timeline. It's Pollard once again with a running start. 3 seconds left. Higgins back to Murphy for the tie. It's a good look, but the closeout was just as good for Marzell Patterson. 69-72. Fordham Rams drop their 7th straight game. And it's just like the tale of the Temple game. Maybe if we start out a little bit better, we don't turn the ball over 7 times in the first half, the outcome of this game would have been a lot different, but we didn't. 15 from Higgins, but the mistake of the game, fouling Rhett Klein, who struggled all game long with his jump shot, to open up the door for George Washington to take the lead with those 3 free throws. AJ Ali had 14. It was an awesome day for Fabian Swanson as well. And Vashon Pollard actually had a really good game, even though the box score may not tell you that. Throughout the eye test, we had a great game from our point guard. And Wheeler, Best, and Patterson were the 3 Washington players who got into double figures. So once again, another L is on the schedule as we finish up this tough 6-game stretch to begin conference play. Next episode with Dayton on the road, Richmond, who's 12th in the nation, and then at the Charlotte 49ers, who are 25th in the top 25. But then finally, we get UMass and Xavier the next week after that. 2 teams who are about at our same level in terms of overall teams. So, I mean, this was an episode that was just strictly gameplay. Wanted to make a bit of a crack in this A-10 schedule for us, but I was not expecting for us to start out 0-4 and extend the losing streak to 7. I know it's a really tough time in the schedule for us, but man, all these games that we're losing in overtime and by only a handful of possessions, we're fighting all the way through. The only game we really rolled over in was the St. Bonaventure game. That was just a forgettable game, and they're undefeated in conference play, so I guess we have a bit of an excuse. But outside of that, man, Fordham has been in every single game, and we just cannot catch a break. We can't close games out, and these games shouldn't even be close. Like Temple and George Washington, they wouldn't even be close debatably if we could just put together a full 30 minutes, man, but it's just not happening right now. So these are the challenges Coach Carter faces moving forward, trying to snap this 7-game skid. And yeah, that's going to bring us to the end of this episode of the series. So the next time you see me, I'll be definitely trimming down the episode length a little bit. I know I've had back-to-back really long episodes. Try to get the next one to back down around the 30-minute mark, 29-minute mark like normal. I've just had a lot to jam into these episodes recently, so yeah, that'll bring us to an end of the 6th installment of the College Hoops 2K Legacy Mode series featuring Coach Carter and the Fordham Rams. Coach Carter's got a lot to think about moving forward. And yeah, so I appreciate you guys stopping by today as I'm signing out. Sorry about the losing recently. I'm going to try to do better and try to change some things in the game plan. If you guys have any advice, don't be afraid to sound off in the comments. Love talking about the series with you guys. So peace, everybody. Stay tuned for more of this series and the road to NBA 2K coming soon. This is College Sports Revive signing out. Hope you guys have a wonderful night, and I'll see you guys very soon. Peace, everybody.